Welcome to this Geography Masterclass. Today we're going to learn about the power of waves. My name is Mr. Salagaras and this is part of my Year 8 Geography course. Okay, so waves are formed out at sea when wind pushes water up and then the gravity forces the wave to move back down to the earth. Okay, this creates an orbit, which is a circular movement of water beneath the surface. So just here I've got a diagram of this happening. So it's like a cross section of the sea and then the seabed here. This is the orbit that I was talking about. So as the wind pushes or creates friction on the top of the water, it lifts it and then gravity pulls it back down. This creates a cycle underneath the water, and as that cycle moves and moves and moves towards land, the cycle then becomes depressed and becomes shorter and creates extra friction as it hits the sand here. And then that's what forms the top of the wave and causes it there to break. Okay, we're going to look at this diagram again in a minute, but I'm going to keep talking about some other points, probably restating what I just said. So as the wave moves towards the coast, it comes in contact with the seabed, so that's what I was just talking about. This impacts the shape of the orbit, making the top of the orbit larger and form a crest. So the crest is the top arch of the wave, so it's the bit just before it breaks and crashes down. When it breaks, it moves up the shore, and it's then called swash. Okay, so when it runs back into the sea, it's called backwash. So if you look at this diagram here, you can see that when the wave breaks, it creates that swash which moves up the beach, and then the backwash is when the water moves back. Okay. Waves create large amounts of energy. Okay, that energy can do two things. It erodes the coast, so it breaks down, wears away the coast. That could be rocks, could be sand, and also transports materials to and from coastal landscapes. So it could be depositing sand, shells, rocks, all that sort of thing from one place to another. There's one process that we're going to talk about right now called longshore drift. That's all about depositing and the movement of water on a beach. So longshore drift can be defined as the movement of sand and materials along a beach. This happens in a zigzag pattern. Okay, this is what I've got here. The orange indicates that pattern along the beach as wind and the shape of the beach cause the waves to hit at different angles. So the blue lines here represent the angle at which the waves are hitting the beach. So that depends on the shape of the beach. Okay, so you can see how the angle changes around here depending on the shape of it, and also the wind. So on a different day, the waves might not be hitting at that particular point or that particular angle. Okay, so longshore drift, what it does is deposit and erode materials according to that pattern. Okay, so the zigzag pattern and also the direction of the waves. That can create different landforms such as spits, right here, or tombolos. Okay, they also shape and change, will change the shape of the beach itself. So longshore drift is a really important concept for you to understand. So I'll just sort of summarize that one again. So it's the movement of sand and materials along a beach. It's really affected by things like waves and the shape of the beach. And what happens is that as you get that swash and the backwash, it erodes the sand, takes it back into the water, then it pushes that sand back to a different point up here, then brings it back, and then pushes it across, and brings it back, and that's what creates that movement across the beach to create that spit there. Okay. Hey, let's summarize these main points that we've talked about. We've talked about waves being created or formed out at sea by wind and the effect of gravity. We talked about how waves have an orbit. They also have what's called a crest, which is the top of it. And we've also talked about the power of waves and the energy that they have in eroding and transporting materials. Hey, if there's a point in this video that you missed, make sure you go back and watch it again. And please make sure you like the video, comment on it, and subscribe to it. Hey, thanks for watching this video.